Hello there, everybody. My name is AB, and this is my Dirty Laundry Diary. Welcome back for this week's episode. If you hear purring in the background, it is because my cat is in my lap, and I don't have the heart to move him. So, maybe that'll be an ASMR element if it picks up. This week was a bit rough, I cannot lie. But that's okay. I've decided that I want to try something a little bit different where I'm just going to kind of give a recap of my week or things going on with me. I haven't done that before, and I think it might be nice. So I'm going to try it. Let me know if you guys like it or not. Biggest thing is, this was technically last week, but I didn't talk about it because other things took the forefront of my mind on last week's episode. I was officially diagnosed with OCD, which, for me, is a very big sense of relief. Whenever my diagnosis changes or is updated, it makes me feel a little less alone, if that makes sense. And it kind of gives me a bit of a sigh of relief, I guess. So, I'm okay with that. It's a bit weird to think about that as well as being bipolar. But I also wasn't surprised. I had the thought that that would happen, eventually, at least. So, not very, very surprised about it. What else? I've been struggling to get out of bed and going to work, which is nothing new. So I'm trying to implement holding myself a bit more accountable. It's okay to take time, but it's like I'm on my phone too much, and then I don't make my breakfast in time, and then I'm running late, and then I just kind of sit there because I haven't given myself a proper morning routine. And I used to have one that was really good, and so I'm trying to get back to that. Oh, and if anyone out there can relate to this, my For You page is full of heated rivalry edits. So, yes, it finally paid off. All those times I had to watch the Sabres play, and I'm not a very big hockey fan. It's paying off. And I'm sure that my deceased grandfather is just happy I'm showing interest in the sport he loved again, you know? I've also started coloring again, which has been fun, but also not, because I kind of get too tired to finish the pages. Don't know if anyone relates to that. But with all that being said, I hope you had a wonderful previous week. If it wasn't too great, know that it will get better. And you got this, and you can do this, and it's going to be all right. I don't know when it will be or how it will be, but it will be. With that being said, today's episode I have titled, Be Like Water. Why? Why would I do that? What is this lunatic talking about? Around this time of year, this year and last year, I've been seeing lots of edits of, I've only ever seen them of young women, but it's probably more than just those, making edits of cool things they've done over the year or things they've enjoyed doing over this past year, with the caption over it, "Don't let your figs rot," and some sort of music in the background. And that is in reference to Sylvia Plath's poem about the branches of the fig tree and branching out, and don't miss out on the things that you're supposed to do or you want to do. And that reminded me of a book that my therapist had me read. Isn't that fun when your therapist gives you reading homework? I literally pay you. Anyways, it was actually a very good book, and I'm very glad that she recommended it to me. But it is Get Out of My Head, Inspiration for Overthinkers in an Anxious World by Meredith Arthur. And the version she let me borrow from her little library, it has art in it by Leo Rosenberg. And I just It's a very pretty book. And there's a couple more that she gave me to read that I haven't yet. Another one is by Meredith Arthur, though. And in it, I can't remember exactly what chapter it is, but more towards the end of the book, Meredith, the author, talks about having a phrase that kind of resets you, but also keeps you calm, and feel like grounds you, like in the same way people do. What can I hear? What can I see? What can I feel? What can I smell? Like that, but in this case, it's a phrase. You can pick a phrase to say to yourself when you feel maybe you're spiraling, or you're getting anxious or worked up or getting panicky. And mine, I have two, technically. One is water off a duck's back, which is from Jinx Monsoon in RuPaul's Drag Race, if you've ever seen. That's when I'm like getting really overwhelmed, or I work in a field where I deal with customers, and if a customer is really mean or upsets me, or even like something like last weekend when my mom upset me, water off a duck's back. And that kind of helps me breathe through it and know that I'm okay and it's okay. The other phrase, that I like to say is be like water. Maybe this is the former competitive swimmer in me, but apparently I have a thing for water. And when I say that, it's because water is one of the most resilient things in the world. But believe it or not, agree with me or not, you see water forge its way through things, and it will carve out land. And even when it's frozen on top, it's still running underneath, and then it melts and it roars and is rushing through. And there might be a drought, but the water will come back and fill up any crack in the ground that it left. And that phrase for me is more of the times where I'm struggling to get out of bed, struggling to feel confident, to feel like I'm in the right place. Be like water. Even if you're not in the right room, flow through it. Keep going. Even if something is weighing you down and freezes you on the top half and makes you feel disconnected and stuck, it'll melt and you'll keep going. Full force, maybe even a greater force. And with that being said, you never stop going. You'll still go, just maybe not as big of a roaring river in times like that. So I recommend, if you can, or if you find it helpful, coming up with a phrase to say to yourself at times when you're noticing, oh, I'm getting a bit panicky, or oh, I'm getting stressed, I'm getting angry, I'm getting overwhelmed. A lot of the time there's physical things that you notice when you're being triggered. Like for me, I can feel my face, specifically like right under my cheekbones, if that makes sense, like almost by my ears, but not my ears, getting warm. And it almost is like a cold shock over the rest of my body, where like that part of my cheeks is very warm, but the rest of my body is almost like cold. And if it's really bad, my hands will get shaky. And when I start to feel that, I know to start saying, water off a duck's back, be like water. Water off a duck's back, be like water. And really, whatever one I need at that time. Sometimes both of them. Usually, in an instance like that, again, it's when I'm having some sort of an overwhelming experience with a customer or something, and I have to say water off a duck's back. I I'm very happy that I have these phrases and I found ones that work for me. There are ones that I've tried that I don't really stick with. In the same way, like bullet journaling. Some people love it, and I love the idea of it. It just doesn't work for me. So you might find a phrase and you're like, oh, this is great. I actually hate it, and it doesn't bring me any sort of comfort or helpfulness. So you don't use it. And you trial and error a bunch of them, or maybe it doesn't work at all. But I recommend finding a phrase that helps ground you in moments of panic or stress or whatever, even if it's just, I'm now home from work, I can decompress, this is my phrase to say. But I also want to remind you to be like water. Keep going, keep flowing. Don't let your figs rot. Do the stuff. I know I've said it before, but you're too incredible of a human to not do the things you want to do. I don't have the keys in how to do everything. There's lots of things that I want to do that I can't do at this point in time, mainly because I'm not a millionaire. And I work full time for a corporation and live in a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 cats. 4 of my own. 1 is my brother's that I'm taking care of. But I also think a part of me is scared to do certain things. Not necessarily because of failure, but because they're things I want so bad I don't want them ruined. And sometimes the thought or the image that I make in my head of them is more exciting or better than the risk of making those come to fruition and then ending up hating it or it not being the way I imagined. Very similar to what I do with men, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, which is crazy. Yeah. That was a weird thing to just all of a sudden realize while I'm talking, because it's not scripted. That was genuine, just nonsense coming out of my mouth. I think the biggest thing is to not only keep yourself grounded, but make sure you're also doing the things you want to do, that you feel called to do. I can't remember what episode it was, but the one where I talked about doing the things you used to as a kid that you think about. Who cares if it's bad or you don't do it perfectly? Do the thing for yourself. Don't let your figs rot. Don't put pressure on yourself to get it all done in one time, because you'll burn yourself out. And keep phrases that are important to you, that make you feel inspired or grounded or calm or hopeful or happy all around you. Keep them in your heart. You can be like me. I have phrases taped to my door. Entry door? Is that what that's called? I don't recall the specific name for the door that takes you into your dwelling and out of your dwelling. Because I live in an apartment building, so I don't have a front door. I have a door to a hallway that leads to many other doors. So entry door. We'll say entry door. I think that's the proper term. Right now I have about 6 of them, and that I actively like to look at. I had one on there that I wrote forever ago, and I love looking at it. But my mom needed it at a time, and I told her to just keep it until she doesn't need it anymore, and she keeps it in her wallet. There's one that I put in my purse, and it blew away in the wind, or I lost it on the ground or something, and I was like, well, someone else needs that quote more than I do. Rock on. I like to keep those there for me to look at when I leave. A lot of the time they help me keep my anxiety calm, but it's also part of the routine that helps, helps me feel a bit more prepared to approach the day. Because a lot of the time, especially this time of year, it's not even necessarily the fact that I have to get through the day, but it's more of it's another day. And a lot of the time I don't feel ready for it. I never feel like I've slept enough. I never feel like I'm wearing the right outfit. I also get really anxious about leaving my apartment, which is something I'm working on. And having those there are just a kind of a gentle reminder that it's okay. I can get through this day. I got through yesterday, and I'll get through tomorrow, and whatever may be within this day, I can always handle it. So, yeah. If you want to, read Get Out of My Head. Again, it's by Meredith Arthur, and it's a very quick read. I think it's only like, how many pages was it? Like 100? Yeah. With everything, including like about the author, and about the artist, it's 100 pages. So it's a very quick and easy read. And again, the copy that my therapist let me borrow has really pretty art, and it's also small with like massive print, which I like because it's kind of easier to read. I read all different kinds of books. I have multiple bookshelves full of books, and shout out to my Libby subscription. My TBR is really long though. Not the point. You can give that a read, or what's the other book that I have that I'm supposed to read by her? Oh, are neither of these other ones by her? And I just assumed they were? Who is this one by? The author is not written on the... Okay, no. Neither of the other books that I've been given to read are by this Meredith Arthur. So I will not recommend them as of yet because I haven't read them. But once I do read them, I will let you know. Or, I mean, if you are interested, the one... Again, I have not read these, so I do not know what's in them or if they are very helpful or if they'll work. If they'll work for me, they'll work for you. I don't know. This is Get Over It, The Realist Guide to Stress Management. Oh, that's crazy that she gave me that one. And that is by Anna Katz. And then the other one is The Wonder of Colors, Unlock the Meaning of the Colors Around You by Bridget Watson Payne. And I think this one I'm going to really like because I like arts and colors and all these things. And I think it's like semi-interactive, but it breaks down all these different things, which is really, really cool. And I do have an appointment this upcoming week, so I should probably read all of those so I can return them. They're all fairly small books, so I don't think it will take me long to read. I could probably finish them later today. Not that any of that is important to you guys. Back to this focal point, this episode. You've got this. It's gonna be fine. This upcoming week can be tricky for certain individuals. I know for me, holidays are a little bit of a sensitive time and tend to be really stressful and not magical at all for me. I did decorate my grandparents' tree yesterday at their house and helped decorate with lights and garland around their house, which was very fun because my grandparents aren't able to decorate themselves anymore. So I just grab all their decorations and they tell me where they want them. And it's kind of nice to not have to think about decorating and just having someone tell you where to put it. I can't lie, especially because it brings my grandparents a lot of joy. And aside from being a bit time consuming, is not much work at all. So I do greatly enjoy that. And if you do celebrate any form of holiday that's this time of year, whether it's the upcoming Christmas, whether I believe Hanukkah has started, I'm sorry, I do not know. And I'm sure there are lots of other holidays this time of year. May you be able to get through it and you have the strength. May you be kind to yourself. And if you do not have loved ones to spend it with, may you be able to reflect on this time and think about loved ones that you miss in a positive manner. I know around this time of year, I really like to think of my father figure that passed away. He was my stepdad, but I called him dad. and he loved cherry cordials. That was his thing. He would, like, the one grocery store by us would have them marked down like 10 for 10, and we'd buy 10 boxes, and he would eat at least 6 of them on his own. Love cherry cordials. So this time of year, I like to get a box of them and eat them. I'm not supposed to, because a lot of the time they have milk in the chocolate, and that really flares up my eczema and my tummy. But sometimes I feel bad that I'm still going and he's not. And this time of year he really loved, and again, he loved cherry cordials, which are very popular this time of year. So I always get a box, and I like to sit and just have a moment where I talk to him. Obviously there's no response, but and maybe try that if that'll help you. Or, I don't know, Rage Against the Machine. As long as you don't hurt yourself or anyone else, do what you need to get through this time of year. I know for a lot of people it's really difficult. So know that you are not alone, that you've got this. Try to find a phrase that helps ground you. And remember to not let your figs rot. And that you are strong and bold and cool as heck. Just like water is. All different kinds of water. Water is fascinating. It really is. Like, especially, side note, I love to watch the videos of people who are like, come scuba diving with me in the Everglades, and it's the most beautiful underwater sequence ever. Love those videos. Go give those a watch. I recommend that. They're so soothing to me. And even if there's like an alligator or a python, it's like the most beautiful way to ever see them, and it looks almost magical, like mythical. With that being said, again, may this upcoming week be kind to you. Please be kind to yourself and know that you are capable of so many things. And you've got this. And it's going to be okay. I will talk to you next week. Thank you very much again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you like this, let me know. If you hate this, let me know. Give it a follow if you're feeling frisky. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.